Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with another Zuru figure. Here we have a Zuru Smashers Dino Island figure. Now, I don't usually get these, but I was on Amazon recently and I stumbled upon a Spinosaurus from Zuru Toys, and I thought that was pretty cool. You don't really see that species too often in the Zuru line, and although this one is going to be as ridiculous looking as it possibly can get, I was kind of excited about it. It was also on sale for only like $7, so I'm like, okay, well, that's not too bad for a Zuru Spinosaurus. So I went ahead, grabbed the egg, and I figured I wouldn't just unbox it and check it out for myself. Some of you might be interested in it as well, so I went ahead and started filming this review, and you guys can check it out with me. But you can see this actually has over 10 surprises inside, supposedly. We also have a dinosaur head sticking out up here on the top, which is not a Spinosaurus, kind of like a goofy looking T-Rex or something, but he's kind of fun. The overall packaging is obviously in the form of an egg, and there is some decent texturing and stuff to the egg, some cracks and stuff, kind of giving it the illusion of it hatching. And then here on the back, you can basically see what we have contained within, which is some stuff I don't really want to see, like slime and things like that. But we're going to go ahead, get all of this, taken out, excavated, I guess, and then we'll check out our Spinosaurus. We can also see that that's what the Spinosaurus is going to basically look like, but there is apparently a T-Rex and a Stegosaurus in the line as well. So let's unwrap this and we'll check it out. So we just popped the packaging off, we've opened the egg up, and wow, we have a whole bunch of stuff inside, which apparently is going to create our Spinosaurus. Different things, I don't know, we have a mystery treasure, so I guess let's find out what our mystery treasure is. It is a very small skeleton guy, so that's interesting. He's like a little pirate. Obviously, he definitely is a pirate. But let's go ahead. This has some dino sand in here. And I don't know if there's a piece of the dinosaur contained within, because if there is not, I'm not too interested in the dino sand itself. I will say at least they have the bag created in a way where you can kind of open it up and then reseal it. So you can see, oh, we definitely have the head in here, actually, of the Spinosaurus. So we'll see if we can pull that out without the sand coming with. You can see what the sand looks like, though. It's obviously like a yellowish sort of a sand. There you go. Oh, there's another piece in there. So I'm going to have to really reach in there. Let me get the sand off the head here. So the two sections in the sand is the head and the tail. So let's continue to move on through here. We've got what is probably the body, I think, maybe, of the Spinosaurus in here. Oh, yep, definitely. So there's the body of our Spino. Then we've got, that's the slime. Oh, that's empty package. I was going to prolong this as much as possible because I don't care for slime too much, but looks as though that's the next stop on our Spinosaurus train. So let's go ahead and open this up. Boy, they like really seal these. They're hard because there's nothing to really grip on. Like, I only have this tiny piece right here. It's hard to grip it. And then contained within, we have it open. You can see it's some green slime in there, which I'm sure kids would certainly enjoy. I'm just not too keen on the slime thing. So here are all of the pieces of our Spinosaurus. I've now got the limbs out of the slime. That's basically where the limbs were all hiding. Both arms and both legs were all sitting in the slime, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and get this put together, and then we'll check it out. So there is also the instructions included in here, but it's super obvious. It's not rocket science. I don't think you really need those. But here is our Spinosaurus, and I will say it is definitely smaller than I was expecting. It's pretty close to the same size you would get when it comes to the Dino Strike figures from Zuru, and I didn't really see that one coming. I just figured this one would be a little bit bigger than that. Kind of seemed like it from the images, but it is what it is. It's still pretty cool looking, but obviously it's not any sort of like an attempt at an accurate Spinosaurus. It is the most exaggerated and ridiculous Spinosaurus ever. It definitely has a similar look to a Spinosaurus, though, as far as the head sculpt goes, just very, very exaggerated. We can also see there's still some sand in the eye and stuff, which is always one of the issues when it comes to getting dinosaur pieces out of sand and slime. You're always going to have lingering pieces until you fully get it cleaned off nicely, and that's obviously the case with the Spino here. But we can see we have a nice big white eye, and then we've got a black pupil with a white spot to sort of insinuate eye shine. You have some decent texturing to the skin, but it's not super impressive, but nice enough. There's also some very weird areas of the skin, like up here where there's kind of like a splatter effect on the side of the snout, and I don't know exactly, I guess it's some sort of slime, because you can see that in a few other areas, but some of it's painted, some of it's not. I think if you're going to include splattered slime on your dinosaur, it should probably all be painted. Down here it almost looks like we even have like drool or something kind of hanging out of the mouth or coming down from the lower jaw of the Spinosaurus. We can see the teeth are all painted with a yellow. They are very sloppily painted for sure, no doubt about that. You can see some of the teeth don't really even have paintwork on them too well. We have the tongue sticking up there on the inside of the mouth, which is painted with a reddish tone, but I think it's basically just the same color as the Spinosaurus itself, because overall the Spino is a red. Interestingly enough, you can see a normal looking pupil over here, but then this side we have kind of like a weird looking pupil. I don't know exactly what's going on there. There's no articulated jaw or anything, but you can kind of swivel the neck, so you sort of have the ability to articulate the neck a little bit. We do have the sails sculpted out, and it is painted with a glossy black, so it definitely shines. There's also a little hint of like a light gray in the lower part of the sail, but unfortunately we have this really weird sort of dinosaur skull and crossbones thing going on, almost like the dinosaur has been tattooed up in its sail. I guess that's part of whatever weird fantasy line this is from Zuru. Not a big fan of that either. Feel like it would have looked better if they had just given us the way that the sail looks over here. We can actually see the skull and crossbones kind of through the sail, so there's a translucency to it as well, which is intriguing. But you can even see kind of like slime leaking down along the top of the sail of the Spinosaurus as well, which is interesting. As you continue to move through, you do see some more areas of slime, which some areas are painted out, like you can see this little splotch of it here right in the shoulder area, but then you see another spot down here as you move down into the arm that is unpainted but still there. We've got some decent texturing leading down into the arms. The hands look okay. You've got the nails sculpted out. We do have articulation in the arms forward and back. Same deal with both arms. A little jerky, but not too bad. You have like some scoots following along the top of the Spinosaurus here up near the sail. You can also see another gigantic splatter here of that slime on the thigh. Kind of can make out the musculature. We can also see like two slices, what looks to be two injuries, but they're green like the slime, so I don't know if maybe the Spinosaurus bleeds green. I'm not too sure. We have the knee sculpted out, some nice looking skin texture moving through, and actually the skin texture in the stomach region is pretty nicely done. We can see leading down into the foot sculpt, we've got some scoots moving down the toes, and then the nails. Even the nails have a little bit of detail to it, which looks okay. You can see the dew claws and everything. No paintwork, sadly, for the nails at all. You can articulate the legs though, forward and back as well, and of course the same thing goes for the opposing side. And then as we lead out into the tail, I don't think we're going to have any articulation out here. No, it doesn't look... Oh, actually, yes we do. We do have a little hint of articulation. Didn't seem like we were going to, but we do have a little bit of articulation. But as you move out, you can see more of that kind of splattered sort of slime effect. And then on the tip of the tail, we actually have a fish that is biting our Spinosaurus, which is humorous to see, I guess, a fish preying on the Spinosaurus, because normally it's the other way around. But overall, it's a very weird looking, very goofy looking figure, but I kind of like it, you know. I've been seeing these very exaggerated dinosaurs from Zuru for quite some time, and I always felt like they looked fun. Kids would definitely love this stuff. Not so much, you know, the standard everyday dinosaur adult collector, but if you are into exaggerated and goofy dinosaurs, it's kind of funny for what it is. It's just not a masterpiece. There we go. And then, of course, we have our little pirate in here as well, which we can see is basically like a skeleton pirate. He's got the eye patch. He's also got a sword and everything, and maybe even some treasure. I can't really tell. It's all kind of jumbled over here in his arm, but it's definitely an interesting figure. He's also got one boot on and no boot over here for the other foot. So he's not living his best life, I would say. Or maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe that is his best life, because he seems pretty careless as far as everything goes. But considering he is a skeleton, it looks like, I guess there's not much to care about. But overall, there's not a whole lot more to the set that I feel like we really need to go over. I mean, It's a fairly small figure, definitely smaller than I thought it would be. Size-wise, like you were looking at about 5¼ inches or a little over 13 centimeters in length, and then height about 2¾ inches or approaching 7 centimeters, but not quite there. So it is a fairly small figure. Again, if we wanted to do like a size comparison, I guess we could bring them in. I don't think we really need it, but whoa, the Collect a Human Being fell down. But we'll just bring them in here and just kind of give you an idea of the size, which you can see again. The figure is very small, very similar in size to your standard Dino Strike figures from Zuru Toys. But even still, it's pretty fun. Again, it's just a goofy Spinosaurus, and I knew it was going to be a goofy Spinosaurus coming into it. It's obviously not an amazing Spinosaurus. The sculpt is okay, but it's got like that weird slime effect all over it, which I'm not a huge fan of, though I think that's kind of part of the gimmick of this line from Zuru. So, you know, it is what it is. Kids obviously enjoy it, so it's not like it's a big deal, but it's just kind of weird to see that on the Dinosaur, and I think kind of takes away from it a little bit as far as an adult collector standpoint goes, but kids are certainly going to enjoy that, and that's who it's aimed at, so it makes sense. There's a little bit of articulation for the figure. I would have liked an articulated jaw, but unfortunately there is no articulated jaw, just a swivel articulation in the neck, a little bit of articulation in the tail, and then of course both arms and legs. The detailing, as far as like the fine detail goes, the skin texture and everything, is pretty nicely done. Zuru usually does a pretty good job on the fine detail of their figures, and I think they've done the same for this one. The paintwork is okay as well, maybe not the most realistic coloration for a Spinosaurus, but it looks cool at least, and is fairly smooth when it comes to the transitions, and fairly nice as far as the application goes outside of the teeth, which are pretty sloppy. But overall, again, very interesting. If you are interested in grabbing one for yourself, I will include a link in the description to Amazon.com where I purchased mine, so make sure you check that link, grab it if you want it, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.